And we are good to go.
Here we are. Friday night, curfew. Ready to rock and roll. We've got Curtis and Two Vision. We've got Cliff Newman.
It's such a norm that I'm like, oh yeah.
And we've got Mo and his hacky sack.
It's not a hacky sack. It is not a hacky sack.
Kick it around.
Call it as you want.
It's pink because I'm in touch with my feminine side apparently.
I like that about it. I like that. You need the pink sweats. Listen to
I should have wore the pink one next week. I'll do it next week.
Own the pink one.
Rookie mistake.
But yeah, Cliff is one of our long friends and helps us out with a lot of our events. And he's here to chat with us.
I am.
Welcome to episode 6.
Yes. So guys, as normal, start of the episode, let us know if audio seems a bit strange or off. Let us know if anything's a bit fuzzy or such. All your feedback definitely helps us make sure that it's actually entertaining for you and bearable to watch. As much as you can stick through that. Thank you. So let us know in the comments if it's all good, and we'll get stuck into it and get started.
Let us know if Cliff's green screen's working. His background should be Las Vegas.
Yeah.
It's not working. Let us know.
I
It's
turned
more
it
like
off
the
so he
Amazon.
doesn't get a fine for the curfew. We don't want him outside 5K in his house.
I'm okay. I'm not on curfew. I live regional.
That's right.
I'll turn it to like
free
Las
range.
Vegas, and next minute like Daniel Andrews would just like tune in and be like, hey, none of this.
I hear a knock at the door. It's the police. So yeah.
Yeah, Cliff doesn't have to stress too much. He's out stage 3, I think. You're right.
Yeah, we're stage 3. Yeah,
Wow.
So
No curfew and no like distance or anything.
No, still distance. Can't go to people's houses and stuff.
Oh, right.
What's that like?
But a lot of our shops are open. The problem is because I live in Bacchus Marsh, there's not a lot of shops. So everywhere I normally need to go is closed. Yeah. And I have to pass a checkpoint if I go to like the next suburb over. So we get checked we get checked.
You've been through one?
Yeah. Every day. Every day I need to go to Melton. Yeah.
What's the process? Are they harsh on you, or they know your first name now?
No, they used to be strict. They used to like take a photo of your number plate, take a photo of your license, which auto-filled a form, and then fill it out and ask what you were doing. I'm like, yep, cool, no worries, and let you go. Because I lived in Bacchus Marsh, it was much easier.
Yeah.
Then it turned to they just took a photo of your license, and now it's turned to they look at your license and then send you on your way.
Okay.
Yeah. But our checkpoint's funny, half of it's army guys.
Ooh.
And the army guys have, like, you got the cops there with their the booze bus thing, right? So that's their thing. And the army guys have a fire pit and, like, wood and everything, cook barbecues and stuff. And, like, fire guys have got this thing down. Yeah, so that's cool. But, yeah, we go through that quite a lot.
Yeah, well, hopefully things will change. Things will change. We're on the mend, I think, with the numbers coming down. So
Yeah.
It's one of those things we don't know when it's going to end. Like, I remember when the 6 weeks first came in, like, good old positive Kurt over here was just telling everyone, like, nah, look, guys, like, I'm sure that they're going 6 weeks because it's hard to extend this stuff. So, like, give it 4 weeks, we'll be like nil numbers. 5th week, we'll be on our merry way. Here we are, like 7.5 weeks later. Like, we might go 10 weeks. I don't know, maybe 11, maybe 12.
Yeah, it might keep going. Yeah. There's rumors that our area will go basically a step earlier. So when Metro goes 3, we go to 2.
Yeah,
It
okay, sounds about right. Yeah.
It's like that, yeah.
you're the guinea pigs.
Apparently.
I don't know, man. I
Just
feel
because there's less population, that's all.
like Daniel Andrews is like the Oprah of like lockdowns. Like, you get another week. No, you get another week. No, you get another week.
Love that for us.
All right. So the
It is
comment
getting
section is working apparently, according to Josh and Jacob.
Yeah, Jacob wants a shout out.
They,
what are we shouting you out for, Jacob and Josh? What are you
their captain skills on Call of Duty. So
Wow. Team players, huh?
Man, I had to update Call of Duty and it was like 61 gig. That sucked.
Damn. Is there a new update?
I hadn't played it for 2 weeks and then, 61 gig later.
Always goes like that. My mates will be like, "Hey man, jump on tonight." I'm like, "Oh, I haven't jumped on in a while." Yeah, all right, let's do this. I'm like, "Yeah, I'm keen. Like, I'm really feeling it tonight. Ready? Jump on. Update. 31 hours left." I'm like, "Ha!"
I'll see you tomorrow.
Hey,
I'll play with you next week.
It's once it's done, you're playing and you've got the boys and the squad on there. It's literally like a social hangout. You literally have the same banter and stuff that you do usually when you're going down to the shops or grab a kebab.
Wouldn't know. Don't get the invite.
Ha! Oh.
Oh.
So it is the same social banter as you used to, Mo.
Basically.
Ouch.
Is there meant to be a cat sitting on your shoulder, Mo, as well? Or?
Yeah, it is. Everyone meet Meowth.
Cute little bean.
Please
Yeah,
tell us the
good little bean.
background. Tell us where your automotive obsession started, mate.
Well, I guess really, like, I'm older than most people think, but my dad obviously started it. Normally, well, that's the norm. But if you've heard of the Toyota Car Club of Australia, my dad's member number 1.
Yeah,
He,
well,
wow.
he started the club in 72 or 73, something like that.
wow.
So, yeah, I've been around that car club my entire life.
Mm.
I don't actually go there anymore because now they've gone away from what I like. So, but yeah. So, yeah, my dad did rallying and then moved into running motorcanas and stuff. So we grew up around all that. He'd go do sprints, same as they are now, except it was less laps at a time.
Yep.
Yeah, do all that as a kid. And then I started doing motorcanas when I was 12. So, yeah, had a Corolla, a KE20 Corolla with a welded diff, and that was it, and off we went. So, yeah, a long time ago. But, yeah, then...
Before the days of drifting. Well, in Australia.
Yeah, well, no, drifting didn't exist then. Yeah, so I did motorcanas, and then I was playing basketball at the same time, and I went and did that for a while because there was a gap between CAMS license-wise. You could do motorcanas at 12, but you couldn't do sprints for ages after until like you were way older, and I got bored, so I just concentrated on sport. And then came back and started doing sprints, and that's when I started like actually messing with cars a bit more. That was when I was about 18. And then, yeah, just went from there, had a few different cars, mainly all Toyotas. Dad's a Toyota nut, so yeah, we had
Not
Corollas.
biased. Not biased.
Yeah, no. My first car was a TA22 Celica. Second car was an RA40 Celica. Third car was a KE35 Corolla. It just keeps going like that.
Some kind of familiarity in all of that.
I have owned one car that's not a Toyota. I owned, this is earlier on, I owned an XF Falcon because I was on my P plates and wanted to take all my friends when we were going cruising and stuff. And that was a bad decision because those cars are shit. But yeah, so circuit racing, and then got a bit more full on into circuit racing, and went and did under 2 litre sports sedan, so full on racing properly. Did that for a little bit, realised that we didn't have enough money to win, which is very common in sports sedan because the rules are super open. It's basically whoever has the biggest wallet sits at the front of the grid. So we kinda got a bit, yeah, legit. It's just it's money. You can have people that do really well on a lower budget, but you'll never, like, if you have the most money, you win, is how simple it is, yeah. So I got sick of that. But while I was doing sprints before the sports sedan, me and my mate used to go together to sprints. We didn't really know anyone else, and we'd hang out, and then we'd go to each other's house and work on each other's cars and stuff. And that's when we first saw drifting, and...
What is this sorcery? What are they doing?
To realize how
straight?
Yeah, to realize how long ago this was, it was a real player video. So,
Whoa!
So not YouTube, not anything like that.
Whoa!
Yeah, we downloaded
The blue
it from
play button.
Yeah, so real player video,
Wow.
vintage as. And yeah, I remember a conversation one night me and my mate had, and it was literally, we watched that, and he goes, "Oh, check this stuff out from Japan," and it was an A86, of course. I'm like, "Oh, that's cool." And I've just like watched it and went, "Yep." You go, "I need to do that," but drifting didn't exist in Australia, so there was no way for me to do it. And then, yeah, I don't know, about 10 years after that, drifting started to exist here. And I'm like, "Oh, I want to do it," and I went, "I need a car," so I bought an A86. I wanted an A86 earlier and should have done that, because when I wanted one, they were $500. And when I bought one, they were $8,000.
No.
Yeah.
Whoa.
Damn.
And still going up. And
Yeah.
still going up now.
Yeah, because when I first wanted one, I'm like, I want that Corolla. It's the last rear-wheel drive. I want one of them. They're cool. And yeah, they were like $500-600.
Wow.
I missed my chance massively.
It's always the way.
Yeah. But yeah, then started what drifting was. I think we worked out the other day. It was 2013 was the first time I started drifting, and
Yeah, wow.
I did a bit of a dodgy, because you were supposed to do a Matsuri event with Vic Drift. You had to have done 2 events before that to make sure you were okay to go out
Yeah.
with like all the other people. So I just said that I drove interstate. Just rolled up to Matsuri and went, "Oh yeah, I've drifted into state before. It's fine." Didn't know
Nice.
anything. Yeah. So
Winged
First-
it. Winged it.
yeah, first 2 years of drifting were an A86. Just TRD springs, 14-inch wheels, 4AG, nothing special. Like, I rebuilt the motor. I just pulled it apart, honed it, bearings and stuff, rebuilt it, put it back together, so completely stock.
Mm.
Did all what the forums told you to do for an 8.6. So changed the rear sway bar, put power steering knuckles in, put Corona LCAs in and stuff like that. And then went drifting for 2 years in that.
Wow.
And it
Nice.
sucked.
Sucked.
Did you ever have any issues with it, like mechanical or no?
Yeah, every time. It's part of
okay. Sure.
it's part of 8.6
The
ownership.
forum said that too. Like, I was just-
I just thought the older ones were good.
No, they're terrible to drift as well. Every 8.6 person will hate me saying that, but they're actually terrible. They're not very good at it. Like, you gotta work to get those things sideways and to stay sideways, which is very rewarding.
So
But
you
when
become
you're
a better driver.
when you're a beginner, it sucks. Because I showed up, like I did Matsuri, then I did a couple other events, and I'm like, cool. All right, now I can like link these 2 corners together. That's like awesome. I'm doing well. And I'm looking at people who started at the same time and in their S chassis with SRs and stuff, and they're like second event baking like whole sections and stuff. I'm like, well, why can't I must be shit at this? Like I need to give up. Like, this is crap.
Gotta go back to basketball.
Yeah, yeah, that's it. This is crap. I'll just go play basketball, and this is fine. But I had one main friend who was in the 8.6 drifting stuff, Kumar. Most 8.6 people know who Kumar is, but he's like, no, it's fine. You're doing all right. And then through him, I met Matt Russell, and he's like, no, you're fine. You're doing what you're meant to do and stuff. So I kept at it, and then I got a bit better and could do a bit more and stuff. And then, what happened then? Then I started my business, the GAD tires. So when I started that, we had an opportunity to come change tires at the track for Vic Drift.
Yep.
So I took that and then didn't really drift much, because I was working, trying to get a business started in an industry that I didn't realize was so super tight.
What a year would this be?
So the tire shop was 5 years ago now. Yeah.
2015.
I think I started it 5 years ago, and then within 6 to 8 months, it was like go into Vic Drift stuff. So, yeah, but that was cool. So I started doing the Vic Drift thing, trying to get that to work, and then trying to get the business working. So I didn't drive much, and then I they had their first Drift X event, their big event. And I brought the 8.6, and then there was something on it that wouldn't pass reg, so I couldn't drive it. I'm like, whatever. I had a deal where I didn't pay entry, so it didn't matter. It was part of my sponsorship as the tire changer. So, and then a few guys that I met through working at Vic Drift. One of the guys now, who's a good friend, Dobbo let me drive his car. He goes, yeah, take it out, just do a few laps and just have some fun. Like it was on.
Roll it around.
Yeah, just
Balls.
go have some fun. And that was a 180 with a 25 DE plus T. So
Whoa.
Yep. Super simple. I drove out and I spun straight away, of course. And then I got to the next bit and then I drifted a whole corner. I'm like, all right. And then I got to the other end of the track and then I linked the whole S section and I came back around and I linked the whole other section. I'm like, man, these S chassis are cheating.
Yeah.
Why didn't I have one of these? Like legit, I went, I don't even know what I'm doing in this car and everything's working. This is terrible. So before DriftX had finished, I bought an S chassis shell. Yeah. So, and then that changed everything.
What took you 10, 15, 20 years to decide, mate? What happened?
To buy a Nissan, mate. Oh. But yeah, so then switched into that and I basically built my friend's car. I bought a Silvia, but same. And I put 25 DE plus T. I just went, what's on your car? And I bought everything the same and just built his car. And then drove it and then fixed stuff from learning more from the tire business, doing alignments and setups of cars and research and stuff to work out what works and then change bits and pieces and changed ride heights and arms and all sorts of stuff to make it the grey and yellow car that you guys know of. Yeah. So
where did the inspiration for GAD tires start? I mean, like obviously you're going through tires.
Yeah.
It was. I mean, I go through water bottles and I'm going to start a company about it. Like, what made you?
Yeah.
What made you? Really
So there was a couple
Start
things.
one.
Yeah, just start one. So it's kind of a bit work related. My first job when I finished high school was I worked at the State Revenue Office doing land tax stuff. So I did that for 4 years and then switched and did stamp duty, like house stamp duty, and then finished my job there after 7 years. And I went, right, what do I actually want to do? That was kind of, my friend got me the job because I had no work and stuff. I'm like, I need to find something that I can do and just keep doing.
I want to going to work.
Yeah, but I want a career, not a job.
Yeah.
So something that works with your lifestyle, I guess. Like, I think that's the plan.
Yeah, exactly. So then I started looking around trying to work it out, and I thought, maybe I'll become a mechanic. And I'm like, but mechanics pay crap. Okay. Like as a whole, like apprentice wages, even qualified wages are terrible. I'm like, right, so I need to either work at a place that's really cool and does cool stuff, or I need to work at a place that pays really well.
Yeah.
To get into a cool place, you need to already be a mechanic. To find a place that pays well, it's easy. Go work for a manufacturer.
Yeah.
So I did my mechanic apprenticeship at the Holden factory in Port Melbourne.
Yeah.
Because they pay properly. And yeah, to get to GAD Tires, I worked at Holden for 6.5 or 7 years after that.
When it existed, when it was a place to be.
Yeah, I did a variety of jobs there. Like obviously as a mechanic, I started in working with the engine manufacturing plant, and we did like testing and stuff like teardowns and all sorts of things. But I did mainly a lot of dyno testing for engines, where we'd quality check and stuff like that. So not your normal mechanic stuff.
I was going to say, it's pretty big involvement with like the development side of things.
I was going to say the more advanced of being a mechanic, like the up here.
Yeah, so it's funny. There's lots of things that I know from work and learning a lot about, and then there's the stuff that a normal mechanic knows that I've never done. So I didn't touch a car for 3 years of my apprenticeship. Like at all, because I worked in the engine plant. There weren't cars.
Yeah.
Right.
So yeah, and then the first time I got to work on a car, they moved me for 6 months to the engineering department. They had like an engineering garage, they called it, where they tested prototype parts on and off cars. So closest thing to like dealership stuff as you could get. But I went there worked for a week just helping people and getting shown stuff, and then got moved to do assembly or prototype assembly of the Camaro before it came out.
Yeah, wow.
Oh,
So,
wow.
yeah, like they had a very simple version of a production line set up, but doing production processes of building a Camaro from scratch to driving out the door. And I moved over there to help because they needed one more person. And me and one mechanic from start to finish built a Camaro.
Wow.
Yeah. And then
Whoa.
drove it out the door at the end. Like, it was pretty
That's
cool.
sick.
I'm like, yeah, so that was really cool. But I only got to stay there for 6 months, so that was the most I touched a car in my apprenticeship, except for stuff at home when I was working on like Corolla or whatever I was doing.
Fiddling around, yeah.
Yeah, so like people come and ask me about transmission stuff. I'm like, yeah, no, I got no idea about that. I've gone, but I can tell you how to dyno your engine and like how to CC the head and all sorts of things. But so yeah,
Making it sideways, but like.
yeah. I did learn like a lot of extra stuff that helps build cars, like because we do the dyno. Literally, all they'd give us when a new model came out, they go, "Here's the engine, here's the car wiring loom, there's your dyno. You need to make it run now, and you need to connect a car wiring loom to a piece of equipment that's bolted to the floor that is the dyno." So you learn. You learn way more wiring stuff than you would as a normal mechanic.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, so things like that helped me when I wire like track cars and stuff like that. So
Right.
You wanted to do something cool. You wanted to, be comfortable and get paid okay.
yeah,
Well, let me work for myself.
yeah, that was a mistake, wasn't it? No, so to get to that, all that happened was my employment finished at Holden. It's when they did some downsizing and stuff. I'd switched departments since then twice and ended up back in an office, which I despised. It was customer assistance for Holden, which is the worst possible thing you could imagine to do.
Hard pass.
Yeah, so I finished there, 7 years at Holden, finished up, got like part of my stuff paid out and all that. I'm like, cool. Now what the hell do I do? And then my dad came to me and had an idea of us starting a motorsport shop. Like, that's a cool idea, but it's very, very small to do motorsport stuff. And he's like, oh, we could do a normal mechanic shop. I'm like, yep, but I don't know lots of normal stuff. I know lots of weird stuff. I've gone, and we like the size of the place you'd need would be big, so expense is high.
Of course.
And it was when I'd started drifting, and I'm like, maybe we can do a tire shop, like, and do some mechanical, because tires, the car's in and out straight away.
Yep.
Be selective of mechanical we do, and the same, the car's in and out same day. I've gone, maybe we can do that, and we looked into it a bit, and we found a warehouse that was suitable close to my dad's house. And then we just went, cool, let's go do that.
Nice.
To make money. And that didn't happen. I think, I think we got about 6 months in and we were both almost out of money. And I went, right, I can go get a job and we can do this part-time. We don't have a big enough name that we have customers all day anyway, which is the problem. And so I'll just go get another job. And I went, where do you get a job that pays well? Let's go work for Toyota in Altona at the manufacturing plant. So I worked on the engine production line for 2 years at Toyota, right at the start of the business. And super overqualified production worker at Toyota. They appreciated it because I knew what I was doing. Yeah. Like, we need you to put this on here. I'm like, yeah, cool. Do you have the right tool, or should I use this piece of crap that you're using? But
surely you dropped your dad's first member at the Toyota club. That would have got you some rep there.
Well, people, I didn't really say much when I started, like, because to be fair, their production line ran bloody fast. Like, you had to hustle to keep up. Their production system is like next level. Holden, I found out from working at Holden going there that Holden and General Motors copy Toyota's system, but they put it in English. So when they were teaching me all the rules and stuff of Toyota and like continuous improvement and all that, they had all these Japanese names for it, but the description was the same. I'm like, I already know this stuff, but in English, not in Japanese. But yeah, I didn't really tell anyone like what I did or anything. And eventually some people started talking to me and they're like, oh, because I'd show up in a very inappropriate car to be working at a production line. Like, I think when I started there, I had a SW20, an import SW20. So like, it's like, you don't fit in here on a production line. What's going on? And they're like, oh, one of the guys I remember, Paul, said to me, he's like, oh, you should join go see the Toyota Car Club, man. I'm like, you're into Toyotas. They're really cool. Like, they do all sorts of stuff. I'm like, yeah, that's a good idea. And I didn't mention anything until a few weeks later. He goes, did you go check it out? I'm like, look, my dad's member number 1. He's like, what? I got this.
He was trying to just be your friend. And...
Yeah, he's trying to help me out. And then I'm like, yeah, no, I already got it. It's fine, mate. Yeah, so I worked on the engine production line for 2 years to help fund the business. So all my money from Toyota went straight back into the business until we got somewhere where we could start making some money.
Yeah.
And then, after 2 years, Toyota were closing down anyway. And I looked at the time, I looked at like what we were doing and stuff. I'm like, I'm kind of at a point where this working after hours and weekends and stuff, I actually need time during the day to keep up.
Yeah.
So Toyota were closing, that was happening. I just went, fuck it, let's go. I'm done.
Yeah.
So left Toyota full time at the shop, which then I realized I needed more work. But so
what do you?
That was
what was the? I mean, obviously, a bit of a personal question on this one, and I think just kind of everyone, who
go nuts.
has that inspiration for business as such, and anyone who is a business owner, like that. You said the first 6 months, like you running out of the money. Is it? Where do you feel like the fault was in that? Do you feel like it was under preparation for a business? Was it your first business? Like, how do you reckon that that transpired to that?
So a few things, like looking back, I can see a few. It was my first business, so I didn't really know how to run a business, which was a bad thing from the start because you don't realize all the costs that are involved.
Yeah, overheads, and the hidden costs with the government.
Yeah. We did plan well for rent. So we went, okay, we know we're probably not going to make enough money to pay rent for at least 6 months. So we knew we had enough money to pay rent for 6 months.
Yep.
But then we didn't realize all the other fees and stuff that you have to pay and insurances and all that. And,
yep.
And massive mistake. And it's still probably my biggest letdown is marketing of the business. I did none at the start until I started pushing into drifting a little bit. And I went, cool, I'll market the same way all the other tire places, which was just Inverse at the time.
Yep.
I'm like, I'll just do what he does. Like, it seems to be working for him. And then I thought that was good. It wasn't really working well enough. And then I found out why, because Inverse closed 3 months after I started. So my guide of what I should do was a closing business.
Yeah.
So yeah.
You never really realize what's going on behind the doors. Like, a lot of people, I've seen businesses start up with, hedge funds almost behind it. It's like, how did they do that? Like, it must be pretty simple. I'll follow that path. And they don't realize there's 6 figures behind that business that's actually started it before it even had a title. And then people are like, maybe I'll just fund it with my $800 a week income. Like, that he did it, I can clearly do it. I think, like, a lot of people misinterpret and understand how other businesses are run, and there's just so much that goes on. Like, there's so much downfall that no one knows about. And that's why I thought it'd be a great question, because I've gone through the same as well with starting a business, and I actually say to a lot of people coming from the marketing side, I say, like, you don't realize that approximately 60% of your budget needs to go to your marketing in the first year. Like, and I mean, the unbiased idea, uninfluenced, if I asked you, do you believe that statistic aligns with what you've seen What would you say to that?
Now, 100% yes.
People don't get it. They're like 60% of my budget. I'm like, yeah, if you've got 100 grand, put 60 away for marketing. Like, you don't think that you can start a business on 100 grand and go, cool, I'll have $100,000 worth of capital assets and startup. No, son.
Nope.
You're going to have at least 30 of that. Then you got 10 grand on legal insurance fees, and then you've got about 60K to get you through your first year of marketing, to which you become, self-efficient. But it's people see that someone only spends $1,000 on their marketing, and goes, I can do that. He sustained his business for 8 years.
If he's doing it, I can do it.
And he spends $1,000 on his marketing.
Yeah, you don't see the inside. And then now looking back, and marketing's a big thing. Two biggest mistakes right at the start were, one, we didn't have enough money to cover us for the beginning where you don't ever get enough work. Yeah. And two, we didn't then have a budget for marketing on top of that. And if I went back, I'd go, I need 12 months worth of bill money so that I'm not relying on work. And then I need at least half of that again to advertise.
A lot of people, a lot of entrepreneurs actually say this, and they say it with their second business, but they always advise it for everyone else's first business, is never start your business on a loan or your own money. Always start it on someone else's. Like, it's always that way of working, and it's like, a lot of people look at that and they go, hold on, what do you mean you can't just, I can't just ask my uncle for, money to start. But, finding your investors will help massively fund the billing side. Maybe not so much the marketing, but the billing side is the part that is quite underappreciated, and it's overwhelming because it creeps up on you and it's constant. Like marketing, you can be like, all right, this month I got X, Y to spend. Next month I've only got X. Yeah. Let's hope we can accumulate over that. But billing is constant. Every month that direct deposit is going to come out. Every single third of the month, 27th of the month, phone bills, insurances, and legal fees and all these things. Like, you don't get a say whether you get to make that transaction. It just happens. And you kind of watch it drop, especially now during COVID. It's crazy because the income stream has stopped, but those direct debits are still happening, and you have zero control over it.
They sure are.
Call up Shannon's, and I'm just like, look, I'm not even driving the car. No, we're still going to take the money off you, buddy.
Yep. Yeah, with what you touched on about getting the money for startup, if you could get money for startup and they'll only cover or come in to play with the bill side of things, then use your money for the marketing. Get someone to invest, and they'll only look at the real figures like rent and insurance and blah blah blah. Then you use your money for that marketing product. I'd go back straight away and change that if I could. That'd be number one.
And what has you found? By all means, don't feel like you need to give away the secrets here. But what do you feel like was your first step in the right direction for marketing? Like you said that you're obviously going to the track days. You said.
Yeah, so Vic Drift helped massively because we were trying to push the quick tire sale. Drift tires, you sell cheap, you make a very little bit on them, but you get heaps in and out. And I'm like, how the hell are we going to convince people to be going to this shop to come to us? And I never expected to try and take a whole market. I went, he's in Bayswater, maybe I can get the western suburbs people to come to me. That'd be the best thing. I'm like, that'd be cool. And the opportunity came up to work at Vic Drift. I'm like, well, this is an easy way for all the drifting people to know who we are. We'll be at every event. We can talk to all the people. We're on Vic Drift's promotional staff and all that sort of thing. So doing that and then using drifting to help promote. So I did a few different things. That was the first step. We showed up, and then we'd have signs at the track, and then we spoke to our suppliers to get a better price than anybody could get on certain things. So one brand we could get cheaper than anyone.
Yeah, that's awesome.
They gave us a discount as if we were spending $100,000 a month on their tires.
Okay.
But what would happen is we'd only spend $100 a week, and then when a drifter event came around, we'd spend $20,000.
Yeah.
So they're like, no, we'll look after you all the time and give you a cheaper price. So that helped, so we could make a little bit extra. But then I started doing other things. Like, it sounds silly, the first thing anybody who drifts wants is a picture of them drifting. So I got my mate who liked taking photos of motorsport to come. I paid for him to get in. He went around the track and took photos for the day, and then I'd upload them on my site.
Yeah,
So
awesome.
on the Facebook page. So then everybody would tag their mate as the photos comes up, and then they'd link them to the site or the page, and then they'd see my stuff, and then they'd like the page because they'd want more photos. But because they've liked the page, they'll see my posts about tires. Then
For that,
yes,
nice.
yeah. So
Genius.
that helped massively. Like, out of nowhere, it was just something that me and my mate thought of. It was the same mate that introduced me to drifting, funnily enough. But yeah, that we thought of that and went, yeah, cool. Because I know I always, like, after every event I drove, I looked on the photos that people posted to find a picture of my car. Like, everybody does. So that was a simple one. And then the next thing I offered for drifting wise was that I'd deliver the tires to the track. So yeah, you can go to old mate who's down the road from you and save $1 on your tire. But I'll bring them to the track, and you don't even have to fit them in your car.
Yeah.
So
I think it's people underappreciate value propositions. Like,
Yep.
value versus cost eliminates the value of cost. You know, money is really just like the cash flow of the event, whereas like convenience and the luxury and the value of what you are providing is far significant than like $50.
I was going to say that convenience factor is huge, especially with
Everything's about convenience factor these days. I feel like that, like, I've learned this through my business, and I feel like even when I used to work for other people before, and like employment and everything and such, I feel like convenience is such a big value that is just underappreciated at the moment, and it's not directed for. Like, people aren't going, I want to be convenient out there. They're like, nah, we will make people change for us. Like, you're never going to get business in that manner, and like the only way you're going to be able to do that is if you create a revolutionary new procedure that will entitle convenience. You know, like, so iPhones and stuff like that, you know, they've got their own way of attacking that. But for most businesses, going for convenience, I feel like will get you better outcome than trying to fight price for price. You know, that battle is just, it's an old battle, and it's one that just ends up with two losers. You're never going to win when you battle price for price.
Oh, no.
Cliff, we've got a couple of questions for you from the comment section.
Yep.
One being, who cuts your hair?
I do.
Second,
I did it just before. That's why it's shiny. So my head's all shiny.
the second one being, what's your view and advice for drifting with an R32 GDST?
And that was from Adam
Griffiths.
Adam Griffiths?
That with a 20 DET.
Yeah.
So the first thing you do with a 20 DET is keep your foot planted. But R32, you'd want... Oh, they're good. They're just a little bit expensive for parts now. Like, if you
There was a reply from a Sean Power. He said, weld two-way diff, seat drifted. Next level would be steering spaces, caster rods, coil levers.
Yep.
And then diff, seat, and driving time are the biggest things to start out.
Yep, Sean's pretty much on the ball. Sean's one of the OG drift guys, really.
Sweet.
Yeah. But yeah, you want to make sure you have a welded diff or two-way so that it spins both wheels. And then always the next thing is a seat. I made this mistake in my 8.6. I bought a fake race seat that was a right? Didn't break or anything. It was from, where was it from? It was from Autobahn. So it was like, the quality was fine, but it wasn't a proper bucket seat. And I did my first few events with it, and I had a harness still, so I had harness and that, and didn't think much of it. And then realized that I had to jam my left leg against the tunnel and my right elbow against the door, so that when I threw it sideways, I didn't move.
Yeah.
When I first started, I didn't notice because I was all over the place and spinning everywhere. But once I got to drifting an actual corner, I went, I can't clutch kick this car because I need my foot to hold me in place. So I got a bucket seat, and it changed everything, night and day. Because now I could
worry about.
I could use my foot and
out the window.
yeah, so that's massive. But yeah, seat's good. Drift it, yeah. Your next step, yeah, 100% would be coilovers, just so the suspension works properly. Adjustable caster is a big one.
Yeah.
Because that
He also said
makes it easy to drive. Like,
Yep.
yeah. What else does he say? I'm looking.
He said he was don't RB20 struggle with power.
Oh man, power's not the biggest issue. Power's the smallest issue.
Okay.
For you to overcome lack of power, you just go faster. Well, my Sylvia, which Josh, you've been in it, I think, before. I made 190 kilowatts.
And it bakes all day, every day.
It was nothing. Yeah, it's no power. Yeah, so RB20, not a problem. You just keep momentum.
Yep.
Yeah, seat. Yeah. Second step would be caster, coilovers. You'd probably want to look at, depending on how low you made the car, camber arms and tow arms in the rear are the main things on R chassis or S chassis, just because when you dump them, you end up with too much camber and too much tow in, and too much tow in makes it really hard to drift because it wants to push. So
don't give away too many of your secrets. You need them to come to the shop.
and I give away all of them. It's whether they remember
They'll come to the shop to get it all set up.
Yeah.
Like, oh, can you set up my drift car?
You know what the biggest thing that I get at the shop with like stuff like this is people buy arms and like, I'll put them in and then I'll bring it to you for an alignment. I'm like, yeah, sick. And I reckon 95% of those people, I have to pull the arms back out and put them back in every time because they like sit them one way too far or the other. And I'm like, I can't work with that. I can't actually adjust this anymore. So you should have just paid me to put them in.
Yeah.
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 Lee's asking how you're finding the BRZ.
The BRZ is sick. The BRZ is, I think Lee was actually one of the first ones that said it, that the BRZ suits how I drive. So,
Ooh,
yeah,
comment.
he goes, like, when I first drove it, the first couple of events, he goes, you look like you've been driving that thing for years. It just, like, fits. And
What about it? Is it the driving position or the?
it's a combo of things. It's because of where I started and what I've done. So the 8.6 having no power, and you have to go fast.
Yep.
So when I switched to an S chassis, Dobbo, who let me drive, he taught me a lot of stuff as well. The first thing he told me that I thought was cool was he goes, I don't have a problem with going fast. He goes, you're already going well and truly fast enough, if not too fast, which is from the 8.6. I'm like, cool. Then I had to learn how to steer an 8.6, an S chassis, because it's slow. So the first problem I had going from the 8.6 to the S chassis when I started driving properly was I would do this and this and this and adjust really quick, and it'd be too quick for the car, so the car just wouldn't do anything. So like it'd flick out and I'd start counter steering really quick and I'd straighten the car up because of it.
Okay.
So I had to learn to slow down, right?
Right.
So they're the two main things. I drove fast in an 8.6, but my hands worked too fast and I had to learn to slow down. Now let's go to the BRZ. The BRZ transitions faster than the A86, so it switches quick.
Wow.
But when it's sideways, it drives exactly like the S chassis, so it's smooth.
Yep.
And the steering rack is 2 turns lock to lock, so my quick hands don't matter anymore.
Works.
Because
Wow.
this much movement is this much movement on an S chassis.
Yeah, okay.
Right.
So I can work quick, and it's okay. I didn't have to learn to slow down or anything. In fact, the first lap I did, and I had to learn to speed back up again.
Yeah,
So yeah.
Resemblance of that. Lee just asked, like, how did you find driving with the electric steering? Like,
Fine. Yeah.
just-
People hate it. I don't understand why. It feels fine. It feels super light.
Is it electronically assisted or is it full electronic?
So it's an electric motor on the column.
Oh, okay.
So it'll
yeah,
assist you, and
Yep.
the BCM will tell it how much. Because we've got the wheel speed up and the revs up, it's basically 100% assist all the time. So
Yeah,
Oh, okay,
because it would be
sweet.
over
Yeah.
speed, wouldn't it?
Yeah,
It'd have to be like logarithmic.
yeah. So, but yeah, at least the BRZ is perfect.
Ooh,
So-
that's
What would be
yeah.
your dream drift build?
My dream drift build.
That was
Yeah, from Benny Olsen.
just asked that.
Oh, good old Benny. Benny has a pretty sick car. He's got 8.6 with a 13B in it.
Oh,
Yeah, I know you might did. What was it? What's the car show thing in Melbourne? The one that got cancelled. I can't remember. Anyway, he's got a blue A86 with a 13B in it. I think it's Bridgeported. Sounds amazing.
Wow.
that's
My dream build. Oh, I don't bloody know. There's too many options. I like driving everything.
Something totally different.
don't-
Or would it be something that's back to the roots, or?
It's not an A86 because I'm building an 8.6 now, so
Yeah.
I don't know if that really counts. But I'd love to do something old,
Sure.
like take something old and put modern stuff in it and make it work, which you've seen lots of times
Nice.
before. But yeah, like there's a group of drifters called Shah Dynasty in America that drift TA22s and KE25 Corollas with like beams, motors, and stuff. So they're all like early 70s cars, but they're drifting them. They look sick. So I'd go something old school, but I'd even go like muscle. Like, could you imagine like rolling around the track in like a Barracuda or something?
Yes.
It's a bit of a rare one, but I would love,
Yeah.
I would love to see someone build like the Audi 100, the coupe fastback Audi 100. If anyone hasn't seen one yet, actually, I'll be onto it right now.
Yeah, find a picture.
They are extremely rare. I'm pretty sure we don't even have them in Australia because like there was so little made and they're over in Germany only, and they just kitted out nicely. But like they have that Fair Lady Z look, short wheelbase. You can put them to the ground, and just something like you'd probably find like a B4 Audi two-stepped engine in it. I feel like that flying around the track would just be unique.
Out of this world, yeah.
Yeah.
You've seen what the guys in the US are doing? The old school, say, Charger with the new school Charger platform, like body in the new onto the.
Is that Pimp My Ride style?
Well, not putting TV screens in the wheels, but yeah.
It's the same shop. The same shop that did it.
Oh, is it really? Damn.
Yeah, West Coast Customs did one of them. They
Ah,
literally
that's right.
cut the top off one and welded it to the other one.
That's
It looks
That's
sick.
where I
but,
saw it.
Yeah.
Old school Mustang with the new school running gear or something.
Yeah.
Cliff, how's
Lee said it.
the older? So has COVID affected you and in the business and things like that? How's it? Well, you knew the question was coming, so.
Yeah. So up until stage 4, I was at work as normal. I'd go to work as normal, but the amount of work I had was like almost none. Yeah, because we've changed the shop a bit because of the mistakes we've made. We've kind of found where we fit a bit more, and what I want it to be now. I kind of want it to be not like I want the world's biggest tire shop, blah blah blah. I'm like I want to make cool stuff. That's what I want to do, and sell tires to people who want them. Like, just look after people if I can. Wait, Josh do you have a picture?
Here we go. So
Yep, that's a lot of pixels. Oh, that's sick.
Oh yeah, that's mad.
Really cool.
So like they're almost unheard of, but yeah, they're got that like Fair Lady Z look, but already pretty fat. And
Yeah.
but if you wanted to Google them, they're Audi 100 C1s. They're the coupe ones, and like, I feel like something that with a two-step B4 in there would just be insane. I'll type in a link to the description in the comments. But sorry, continue with your story.
What was I saying? something about something.
Turning the shop around for the.
Oh yeah. So I've decided myself, this had already happened before COVID was the thing, that I want the shop to be a bit smaller and things like that. So we moved from our big place that we had in Laverton to we're actually renting a big shed on someone's property in Rockbank.
Oh wow.
Yeah, two reasons we did that. One, we wanted to downsize. Two, the rent got cut in half. And then the last reason was it's only 15 minutes from my house. So I could go backwards and forwards really quick. My dad wasn't so happy with it because he comes, and now it's further for him to drive because he was only 5 minutes from the old shop, but he understood all the other reasons and that. So yeah, that happened last year. We did that, and then come Corona time, and most of our customers are drifters. Some circuit racers. We don't really deal with any just normal stuff. Like everything that comes in is a drift car, a circuit car, or a slammed street car. Like we do all the other stuff because no one else can get them on the hoist. So, so because of COVID, there were no events. So all our work disappeared because nobody was preparing for an event. Yeah, no one needed to go to an event, so no one needed an alignment. And then because they didn't do an event, they didn't break their stuff and need things fixed. And so our work just went down and down. And we had a few bigger longer term projects with Talk Drift. So we started doing them to fill in the gaps in that. And anything that came in, I'd slam that in straight away because it meant I'd get some money. Then, the further into COVID, the less and less work. And then stage 4 came, and if I read their rules a little bit dodgy, I could leave the shop open, but I already had no work.
Yeah.
And really, an automotive workshop that's very specialist, like that does drift cars and stuff, doesn't count as emergency work, so we had to close. So we've been closed since the start of stage 4 because the shop's in Metro and I live in regional. I can do whatever I want under stage 3, but the shop can't be open.
Yep.
Right.
And the same, my dad can't come to help when I need help because he's only allowed to go 5K from his house, and it's more than that. So from stage 4 we've been closed with no money coming in at all.
Yeah.
I was okay for I had enough money up until kind of this point, and it kind of went, okay, you handled like a whole almost 6 months with no money coming in. Couldn't really do any more. I started running out. So I'd been working with Lee on and off, doing downpipe stuff with him, like helping him. So that helped pay some stuff, but then the same thing happened to him and his work disappears. And then he doesn't have enough to pay both of us. He only has enough to pay him. So then I don't go, and I wasn't earning any money. So I ended up doing the get 10 grand out of your super thing.
Yep.
So I have 10 grand sitting there to keep paying my bills as they come in.
The direct debits that just don't stop.
Yeah. So, and the positive is because I had downsized, basically our only cost at the moment was rent and a little bit more. We dramatically decreased our costs by moving to the new place. So,
lucky you did that.
Yeah, that's me and my dad were having this conversation a couple of weeks ago. Man, if we were in the old shop, we would have been done. We would have been people chasing us for money, all sorts of things, because we just happened to decide to move and downsize everything and cut costs. We've just kind of fluked it and survived a bit. And
so happy to hear that, to be honest.
There's
a lot of stories out there where people are like, oh, I made this wrong mistake during these circumstances, and now I'm here. But it's so good to I still hear that it still works the other way around. It's that you've still got the availability to maintain what you've got with a smaller size.
So even from now, that 10 grand will last a while. Our monthly costs because of the new place, it's $1,500 a month. That's it. That's all I have
Oh
to
wow, yep, yep.
Fantastic.
That's all I have to outlay. So pulling that, I know if you look at pulling out out of your super, it's not actually a good idea because like 10 grand isn't actually 10 grand. It's more like 70 or 80 grand come the end of your work time.
Yeah.
But I didn't want people to chase me for money. So for me, it was smart. I checked like my balance before I did it of my super, and again, because I am actually older than people think I am, I had 100 grand already in my super. So I'm like,
Good
I
stuff.
can pull 10 grand out. It'll be okay.
I
Yeah.
should say, like, 10 grand now is like 70 grand later now when you finish work, but you
Yeah,
got to be able to finish work. You got to still
Yeah,
get
exactly.
to that
Exactly.
point.
That's
if you
where
didn't
I
pull
weighed
that
it
10,
up.
you'll be
Yeah,
running
like-
away from
exactly.
people
Yeah.
wanting money, and then you can't do it.
100%.
You made the smart decision, man.
Either
Is there any
10
support
10
coming
mil.
from the government or anything like that? For yourself?
No, Kimberly, my partner, earns too much money.
Damn it, Kimberly.
Yep.
Damn it.
Which, man, that kills you. Like when we kind of realized that when I finished Holden before we started the business, went cool. Like I'll go get unemployment for a bit. That'll be all right. We went there and they're like, no, she earns too much money. You'll never get anything. I'm like, and then all the Corona stuff came through and they had those support packages for support small business and stuff. And I looked at them all and went, can't get that one, can't get that one, can't get that one, can't get that one. Yeah.
It's not unfortunate because you're still bleeding from one side. It doesn't
Yeah.
on the other side as well. Like,
I mean,
Yeah.
anyone
Yeah.
who started up a business late 2019 or start of 2020 is like
Oh, man.
that's when I launched my business, and I practically just got met with the answer of, we don't have enough financial history to actually invest our support package into you. Like, how do we know it's a viable business that would have made money? And like, I'm like, but I've got like 3 months of really, really good like yeah, it's not enough. It's like so. Anyone who started you've got that first 6 months of no income that you're already battling with, and then all of a sudden Corona comes by and just wipes that clean off the slate. So,
Like, see you later, 12 months.
I think
Yeah.
that's something a lot of people out there who are like, oh look, an extra couple of weeks wouldn't matter, and it's like, that's a lot of money. Like, I get that's a lot of bedtime, that's a lot of chill time, that's a lot of at home time, but that's even more money than you can you can fathom. That is just, it's not there and it's still going. But
So currently we're at the point of my money from my super is paying for everything, and I can't do any work because I have to keep the place closed. Once we're out of stage 4, I can open back up again, which is fine, but it's still not going to be great because there's no drift events yet, or no
Yeah.
circuit racing or anything. So people aren't like, I have a few people who want some stuff like when we open up, but that's going to be like a week's worth of work, and that's about it. So
Yep.
you mentioned some stuff about torque drift, Cliff. Can you tell us
yeah, talk drift.
a little bit about this side, sir?
That's my sponsor, I guess you'd say. Aaron is the guy who owns Talk Drift. Grease Monkey Games is the company. I met them through Jeff, Down DC Jeff.
Yep.
They came to a drift event. I think I actually remember seeing the BRZ at a Winton event and it driving really badly, but they were learning to drift, the guys Aaron and that from Talk Drift, and they needed some stuff done, and Jeff always supports his mates. He said, "Oh, go get Cliff to do it. He does all drifting stuff." So I met them and I did a couple little jobs for them, and then that went well, and they said, "Oh, we want to do this," and so then Aaron just messaged me, and I'm like, "Yeah, cool, I'll do that," and did a couple more jobs and did some alignments, and then they were going to an event, so I happened to be going to the same event anyway because I nearly went to every drifting event, and I just like helped them out and gave them tips and stuff, and basically built a relationship with them. They were good guys, so why not help them?
Yep.
And then what happened? We did a few more things. I started messing with the suspension on the BRZ for them because I could tell it wasn't right. So I said, "Give it to me, and I'll put some arms in it, and I'll change the suspension, I'll change the alignment, and we'll make it drive better because it's kind of fighting you. I go, we need it to work a bit easier." And we did that, and they were at a Calder event, a Vic Drift Calder event, and obviously we were there working. And Aaron goes, "Oh, you should take the car out." And I'm like, "Do a couple laps in it." He goes, "Can you do that?" I'm like, "Yeah, I don't have to pay entry, so I can just go whenever." I'm like, "It's fine." I was, "Oh, yeah, cool." And I'm like, "Oh, yeah, cool, I'll take it out. Yeah, just let me know." And I didn't think anything of it, like, at all, because you're like, yeah, that's nice, but it probably, like, you want to drive all day. And he came over, like, at the end of the day, he goes, "Here, take it out. And it was, like, the second last session. I'm like, you know what? Why not? Let's see what this thing's
Let's
like.
do it.
Yeah, like, this thing will be pretty cool. Let's go for a drive. I went, "Oh, I'll take it easy because it's not my car and whatever." So I went out and, like, spun the first corner because of the transition speed. I went, "Oh, all right, I need to work fast for this one." Then, like, drifted the S's, then drifted the back S's, and then kind of started skating it up to the wall. And I'm like, "Ooh, it's not my car. Let's stay away from the wall." And then I did a few laps, and I didn't realize Aaron went down and watched at the bowl at Calder, like along the wall. And then I kind of got comfortable in the car really quick. So I started, like, doing the S's and pretty much linking it to the bowl and then baking it in third gear around the bowl with smoke going everywhere off the car.
Nice.
And he's filmed it and everything. And then I came back in, and then by the time he came over, I was talking to, like, my friends, and they're like, "How was it?" I'm like, "Man, I need one of these cars. This thing is sick." I'm going, this is what I want. I want this car." And then Aaron came over and he's like, "Oh, yeah, I wasn't." Like, "Man, honestly, I would love one of these cars." And I already started looking at how much they cost from, like, the the write-off and, like, how much a write-off costs and that. He's like, "Oh, you should drive it." I'm like, "What?" And he goes, yeah, you should drive it at, like, competitions, because I was doing comp stuff as well. I'm like, "Oh, yeah, sure, that sounds cool."
Like, okay, yeah, fine.
Yeah,
And you're like, what's this guy talking about?
yeah. So, like, a few events went, and I didn't follow anything up with it. I'm like, "Yeah, that's a nice offer, but it's not my car. It's fine." So I kept driving my car, and I kept helping them with stuff. Like, they had another car, a Sil 80, that needed some stuff, and I just did stuff for them. And while they were developing the game, every now and again they'd have a question about, like, setup, not massive, but just like, "Hey, if you do this to a car, what does it do?" And I just helped them wherever I could. And then I took my car to SA to drift in a comp, and after 3 years, my engine finally died. I lost compression in one cylinder, and there was a Vic Drift comp, like, the next week that I was meant to do, and I'm like, I wonder if I can borrow the BRZ, because it was at my shop anyway, because we'd done a thing where I was storing it at the shop for him.
Yep.
Just to help them out, because they didn't really have storage for the two cars I had. And I'm like,
Just sits there in the corner looking at you like, "Please."
yeah. I'm
Drive me.
Drive
Drive me.
like, I can just
Skid me.
I can throw I'll buy some conversion spaces and throw my wheels on it. And so I asked him, and he literally, like, the funniest conversation. I'm, like, super nervous. I sent him this message. I go, "Hey, Aaron, what do you reckon about me borrowing the car for the comp round on the weekend?" And
You know, that small,
Yeah.
just a small thing that's going on.
And his response was, "I'm driving on the Sunday. Do whatever you want as long as it still drives on the Sunday." Like, all right.
Okay.
That's a yes. So I took the car, and I thought, you know what? I'll just have some fun. I'll just do the practice, and I'll just drive around. I did the practice, and I'm like, I was a super, like, learning experience, because I'd basically shown up in a car at a comp that I'd driven for 10 minutes before. Didn't really understand how a 8.6 worked properly. So I showed up, and they give us the line to run. So it's not like when I had my fun in it for 10 minutes. When you're drifting a corner and you don't have a requirement, it's easy. You just drive through the corner. It doesn't matter if you're in the middle or out or whatever.
Yep.
Come a competition, they tell you where to drive. So I'm like, cool, all right. So then I had to learn to link corners in it, and through practice, I got better and better and linked more and more. And I'm like, sick, this feels cool. And they're like, "Oh, it's qualifying." I'm like, I wasn't going to do qualifying, but you're on your own. It's fine, I'll do qualifying. So I did qualified the highest I'd ever qualified at a competition.
Whoa!
Oh, this is pretty good. Like, maybe I'll just do the battle. It's fine. So go into the battle, and yeah, I'd qualified 15th or something. So I led first, and I came into the S, and I drifted out. And then as I transitioned, the guy who was following me completely mistimed it and just went, boom, straight into the back of the car. Because I had very little experience in the car, I couldn't catch the spin. And then he went, boom, into the door.
Oh, no!
And I stopped and came into the pits and stopped to check the car. Got out, the door's like screwed. The door's got the biggest dent in it. The back wasn't so bad because we'd made bash bars and stuff, so it was all right. And I'm just standing there looking at the door going, I now have to tell Aaron the first time I've used his car, I have crashed it. Oh my God. And the guys jumped out of his car kind of like, what happened? Blah, blah, blah. And then like he chilled out, he was cool. But I'm like, mate, shut up. I don't care. I just crashed someone else's car. And it's not like a cheap car.
Yeah.
So I finished that anyway, took a photo of it, spoke to Aaron, and he goes, just fix it for the next event. That's fine.
Wow.
Mate. So anyway, follow on from there. I wanted to sell that because it's funny. Like, crash the car the first time I use it. And just from there, we did some more stuff for him and worked out. Basically, he would let me drive the car for any comp I wanted, and as a payment, I would store his cars for free. And then I did some other things where I'd work on his cars for free and things like that, and just basically built a relationship where it was beneficial for both of us.
Yeah, solid.
Yeah, and then I did, later on, I did high tech in it. So I kind of showed him tried to show him what I would do support wise. So I got him tickets to come for him and whoever wanted to come. So I think I got him about 3 or 4 tickets. I had the car decked out. I got some new stickers put on the side that said Talk Drift. I had a full on propper pit set up. It looked like we were professional. I had race suit, everything. So he could see I already had a race suit from doing circuit racing, but yeah, it was quite tight because I was a lot smaller when I did circuit racing. But showed him this is what I can do in a professional sort of environment. And it obviously worked because he said, cool, instead of you drifting the BRZ, let's get another car for the company. We'll make the BRZ the fun car, and we'll make the other car the competition car, and you compete in the competition car. So
Wow,
that's kind of where it is. Unfortunately, the competition car's still not finished yet. It's still going, but things happened. Lack of money coming through the shop happened. It just got pushed to the side and waited.
Is it a secret build, or can you disclose any information around it?
No. So it's another 8.6, or it is an 8.6 instead of a BRZ. We got it from Pickles Auctions. I think that one came from Adelaide. And they're cheap. It was $5,000.
Yeah.
Whoa.
I think
How
delivered.
that cheap now?
Delivered less than 6. Yeah, for a manual one with a front crash. As it was a write-off, so you can't register.
Oh,
it
okay.
again.
Gotcha. Makes sense.
But pulled it apart. It had the driver's side rail right at the very end where your Rio would mount had twisted like this 2 millimeters. That's it. Everything else was fine.
Whoa.
Everything else chassis wise and that had broken lights and a broken bar and tinted guards and stuff, but everything just came off.
Nothing a strong wind wouldn't fix.
Yeah, exactly. So we pulled it back, and I didn't even the panel guy used Mini, because I said, hey, this is our idea. Can you fix stuff if it needs fixing? He's like, yeah. And I sent him a thing. Go, this is what's wrong. Apart from me making a tube front to replace the front. And then this is what's wrong. He goes, man, if I put that up to the jig, I'd probably bend it 2 mil the wrong way. He goes, by the time I did it, it'd probably put it out the same amount in the other direction. Yep. He goes, don't worry about it. Just drive it. I'm like, sick. So yeah, so that car is a project with Talk Drift. Aaron organised bulk parts through actual in-game sponsors. I don't know if people haven't played the game. The sponsors in Talk Drift game that you can unlock and get things from are real companies.
Now this is on
Yeah.
phone or PC or?
It's on Apple and Android phones. It's on PC as well through Steam. PC is still like a early release version, but they're updating it constantly because they haven't got to where they're happy with yet. So, but it's pretty good.
Just
think
posted
PC
up
I
a
think
link
it's-
in the comments, guys. So if you guys are keen after this live stream, head over to greasemonkeygames.com and you'll see it all there.
Yep.
There's a bit more
Yeah,
about it.
so they have multiplayer stuff where you could play it on your phone, and I could be playing it on PC, and we can play
Oh,
against
cool.
each other.
Crossplay. Yeah, sweet.
Yeah. They just released a thing where you have open lobbies as well, where you can pick a track and like 8 of you can just show up and just hammer around.
Sick.
Like,
It's mad.
yeah, they're pretty cool. So, but yeah, so the 8.6, I guess a quick rundown on what it's getting and got so far. So Aaron organised all these sponsorship parts, Shockworks, coilovers and brakes on it. HGK, who are in Latvia or Lithuania, one of those two. It's a full body kit. Some like, I think if you're the retail price is like $8,000 for the body kit or something.
Wow.
It's massive. It basically looks like the version 1 Rocket Bunny, except the front is overall 120mm wider than the Rocket Bunny.
Oh, that's a
So
chunky
it's
monkey.
it's 120mm wider than the BRZ. It's huge. We have a problem with my trailer now because I'm gonna have to take the wheels off to fit it on the trailer, and I'm not sure the guards will fit between the tire rack. They're that wide.
Bit of a Tony B.
I was just
as he
going
was
to say,
telling us.
Yeah, I was going to
Yeah.
say.
you're gonna have the same issues.
And I hate that. Last thing I want to do is change tires at the end of a drift day.
Yeah.
Yeah. What else has it got? We were meant to run a Link ECU, but they don't make one to suit an 8.6, so that's not happening. You can just run stock anyway. It'll be turboed. I'm going to run an AVO turbo weld manifold, but Kinagawa are organising a turbo for us because they're an in-game sponsor.
Sweet.
We're an
Awesome.
in-game sponsor, and we're building the roll cage. So,
Cool.
yeah, so full-on roll cage. What else? Wheels, we were meant to get some from Kenzai. I don't know if that's still happening. Kenzai is another sponsor sending stuff over. So,
Mhm.
yeah.
Awesome.
It's not terribly far off, but we've got other stuff we have to do before that. So
It's
I
exciting.
kind of do it when I can. At the moment, can't do any of it because it's at the shop and I'm at home.
And no doubt, like after and when this all gets started, everyone will see it on the Cliff Drifts IG and YouTube, if anyone didn't know. Cliff has got his own YouTube channel where he's documenting, all the fun stuff you're doing at home at the moment.
All the cool stuff. The home stuff's a bit boring, but I film what I find not boring.
That's fair.
Yeah.
That's fair.
But yeah, so that's basically the deal with Talk Drift. Just working basically it's a good partnership. Just
Yeah.
What I
built,
love about it
built a
is-
relationship.
Yeah.
That's all.
I think what's been like a constant moral for all of this is like everything that's brought you success has come from the value, not the money. Like
Yep,
the money
100%.
investment between yourself and Talk Drift, like that transaction isn't money driven. It's like, hey, we need a shop to store. Value proposition, here it is. We need someone to drive the car. Value proposition, we need someone to invest, to sponsor, to do this. And a lot of people, they just straight away go, oh, I want to be involved with that. Yeah, no worries. Let me just get out the check and the invoice, and that's what it's
Yeah,
going to
that
cost you.
doesn't happen.
And again, it all started from communication and networking.
Yep.
Yep.
Chatting to
So
people,
I
talking
think
to each
that's
other.
just such that's so inspiring. Just hearing from it and seeing everything come through from your success is very much so. You've always gone after the value proposition rather than cash flow and letting
Yep.
dollars speak everything.
And sometimes that's the downside of my business is that I give more value than money, but the upside is that anybody who comes to us and as a whole, just it's a good environment, it's a good relationship, and they want to come back.
But it's a good experience. You're getting that experience out of it as well. So
Yeah.
I mean,
Even like simple things like when I do an alignment, if the person's hanging around, which is most of the time, sometimes they feel awkward. I'm like, man, you can come have a look. Just ask me whatever you want. I'll tell you anything. There's no like crazy science going on here. I'll tell you whatever you need to know. Yeah. And that tends to make people come back. There's like friends that I've made from it, and they come to me because of that at the start, and now they're like, I don't even need to know, man. Just do it. Do your thing, and I know it's fine. And yeah. Like we have people before Corona that were coming from Druin, who we'd made mates with, coming to me in Laverton to do their alignments and stuff. And yeah, just because it's not just the monetary thing, it's the other value.
Yeah, 100%.
Well, and again, like I think it comes down to, you know, that marketing of like, you're out there at these events, you've got your name out there, but on the other side, you're present in your community, and people see, you know, they don't just see a tire fitter, they don't just see someone who can change alignment, they see experience, and they see knowledge, and they see value in going, all right, cool, well, while I'm there, I can actually ask X, Y, Z, and hopefully, like, it's not just, they're not coming to you just to get a swap over, they're coming to you for investment. It's support. Like, no doubt the support extends further than just, all right, cool, you've left my shop, I don't want to know you anymore, which a lot of places just burn and churn like that. Like, the amount of tyre shops I've gone into, in fact, the other day, my father got a puncture in a brand new set of tyres on a Holden Trax, right? Now, the tyres aren't expensive or anything as such, but he walked into one place and they were like, oh, no, we won't repair that, you'll have to buy a new set.
Most of the time they're lying.
And he's like, well, what do you mean? They're like a brand new set. Like, I would literally do this fix myself. I'll go buy a kit, but I just thought I'd get it done properly because they're such a new set. I'm going to be spending more time on them. They're like, nah, we're going to have to. He literally went out there, drove around the corner, went into another place, told them the story, and they were like, those guys give us work. Like, just the fact that he goes, look, this is a simple fix. It's going to cost you next to nothing. You know, if you come back and get your tyres done here, like, give me a call when you need them done. We'll do this for nothing type thing. And it's like that relationship building that people just go, one, wanted to scrap, like, what's the a puncture's probably like, what, $70 at max for you to fix and plug it?
Man, we're charging way too little. We charge like $20.
Exactly.
Oh,
right?
wow.
So there you go, right? So one place took $20.
I had to bump up my prices.
Yeah, one place took $20 of profit and went, nah, I'm pretty sure we can get like $750 worth of tires out of this customer. And then the other place went, we don't ever worry about that part. Come to us when you get your tires done. And I can tell you now, I know where my dad's going for his tires. You know, like, it comes down to that, what do you offer in value? Yeah. Not what do you offer for money. And that burn and churn method is really starting to become, you know, something old and ancient that we need to move through. It's not going to work and it's not going to be valuable. But
so, guys, if you need any tyres, any alignments, when we can,
wait a few weeks and then
hit up Cliff.
Go see Cliff.
He's got
there we go. Look at you, bro. I know you should double check that. You're like,
it's pretty close. Like over your left shoulder.
I usually just sort of plan it out throughout the whole thing. I'm like, all right, if I move this way, it goes this way. If I go this way, it's this way.
I did see the little...
Shh. Part of the plan.
Yeah, no, if you want to... and that goes for everything, really. Like, everything we've talked about tonight, whether it be like, you know, any issues with if you've got a business, for instance, that's kind of like, hey, I'm in that first 6 months where I'm not making money and we're running out. Like, you know, we don't have all the answers, but we've got the experience. And, you know, whether that's marketing, you know, I'm pretty knowledgeable in marketing myself, or you could go through anyone who's gone through a business, reach out to those people, you know, ask them what they're going through right now and how they're coping with it, whether it be COVID-related, money-related, business-related, it doesn't matter. Like, the whole idea of Vivid Chats is exactly that, to generate chats, communication within the community. So, you know, as always, we say it, our inbox is always open. Down the bottom left-hand corner is where you'll be able to reach us via Instagram, or you can, you know, simply find us on Facebook. You got this, Mo. So, you know, don't hesitate to reach out to us, or even if you want it to be an open discussion, message us and we can make it the topic of our next, you know, live stream, so that everyone can be involved and we can generate a big discussion about it to get everyone's ideas. So.
And if you want some more content to watch, jump on Eclipse YouTube.
Yes.
Yeah. If you watch my first episode, I say boy a lot.
You do. I watched that
Hey,
the other day.
someone do shots to boy. Every time
Yeah.
it says boy shot.
There's a counter. I put a counter on it because I was pissing off laughing while I was
You got
editing.
this leaky boy
There's a
over here,
drinking
from the
game
spinny
for ya.
boy over here. That's
Cliff's
a Lucy
first
boy
video.
over here, and we took it off the ratchet boy over here.
The boy shot challenge.
There's like Spoolie Boy and all sorts of things.
I loved it. It was so good.
That's
Took the dirty boy out from the leaky boy area, and
Yeah.
Might have to do it on our first YouTube episode that we have.
Yeah.
We might have to replicate Cliff's one.
Yeah.
yeah.
Now I say so too much. Whenever I start a sentence, I
So.
say so. But luckily, I normally go so and then continue on. So when I go to edit it, I can cut it out.
so every single
Nice.
cut you cut to, you're just like, next we're going to be.
Yeah. Yeah.
All right, guys. Well, thank you all for tuning in. We had plenty of questions and engagement from this time. We always love to see it from you. So, as I said, let us know if you want to see anything for the next stream. If not, I'm sure it'll be sometime next week, whether it'll be that Wednesday, Friday. Kind of just really all depends on whether everyone can kind of fit it in who we're streaming with next. But we appreciate everyone tuning in tonight. And even if you're watching this afterwards, feel free to still comment down and we'll see it all and reach out to us. Even if you're watching afterwards and, mid-conversation, like, hey, send over a timestamp at 56, you made a fool of yourself. I want to talk about that. Send it over. I want to hear about it.
Done.
So,
And
Clip it.
Thanks for giving us some insight into your life and running a business. So it's talking about stuff. So thank you.
Do you want me just to answer these last few questions I can see?
ooh, okay. So what if
Before we
we
go.
fire away?
Oh, they're just towards the end, after the Dream Build one.
Yep.
Lee said the S1. I don't know what he was talking about.
The Audi.
Lucas Southwell says, what is your dream track to drift at? In Australia, I want to drift at Sydney Motorsport Park. That's like,
Ooh.
yeah. There's heaps of cool tracks here, but that one's just one that I really want to go to.
We're going to be a #1 sponsor. for that.
Yeah.
So
Well, it was meant to happen this year because there was meant to be a high-tech event there,
Yeah.
but no high-tech this year. So, what else is there? My dad complained about driving and said petrol is expensive. So,
Look,
Hey,
it's not
Dad.
wrong. See, the good thing
what
about
else is there?
COVID is it dropped the prices.
Oh, yeah, actually, my dad mentioned another thing about the Talk Drift. He said, how many new followers did we get because of GAD in the Talk Drift game? That was a massive thing. We had 400-500 Instagram followers on our GAD tire page, which is basically the drift community in Melbourne. And then they released the game worldwide, and we went to, I think it was within 2 weeks, we went to 2,000. Then we went to
Wow.
4,000. Yeah, it was crazy. What do we? I'll just have. Yeah, now we're at 4,800. That's all from Talk Drift.
well,
Nice.
Wow.
What else? Someone said I did a good job on their car. That's good.
Always good to hear.
you back.
Wait, and I had a couple from my post on Instagram.
Tony B said that the 86 might be his second project.
You can try. You should drive mine before you decide that because they drive different. I'll let
There
you
you go,
drive
Tony
mine.
B.
I'll let you drive
You
mine,
heard it,
Tony,
yeah.
when it's done. Someone asked me a dream drift car again. Dobbo, the guy who let me drive his car the first time, says, "Why do you drive death traps?" It's just what we do, all right? It's part of the
We do.
fun. Someone else asked me big spoon or little spoon. Definitely big spoon. I think that's most of them. Most of the other stuff that I see here, we answered. So that was good.
Awesome. Thanks
Excellent.
again, mate,
Thank you for
for
watching.
joining us tonight.
All right, so it's fun. I enjoyed it.
All right, guys. Well, we hope you all have a great weekend, even with curfew and COVID going on, lockdown, and all the such, all the fun things. Anyone who's interstate, we're jealous.
Stuff.
Very.
Posting on Instagram so we can live vicariously through you.
Damn
and
your
see-
brunches and car meets.
Yeah, yeah. Like I saw Coffee's cousin Coffee post the other day, and I just almost cried. Like it's just hit me hard. But
Stay
everyone-
safe. Stay
Stay
sterile.
safe.
Josh just wanted to say that.
Had to be done.
Stay safe.
That's his new saying. Stay safe, stay sterilized.
Actually, me and Kim, my girlfriend, were having a discussion going, there has to be new number plates that come out for Victoria because of
COVID
this. And
state.
it says, Victoria, the COVID state.
Yes.
She said something like, stay apart, stay safe or something should be the slogan at the bottom.
It will happen.
Oh, wow.
Too good.
Yeah.
All right, guys. Well, on that
COVID
note,
state.
we're going to see you. Thanks for tuning in, and we'll catch you on the next one.
See you guys.
Bye.